I moved the clock up like 10 minutes today. So.
We need a bell like school. Ding-ding-ding-ding. Or you could get Dan a bell that he could just.
Well, we got those bells.
Grab my bell, throw it to Dan.
Ding-ding-ding-ding.
I'll show you those ones that.
You see Benton and Associates isn't mailing out their calendars anymore?
We were just talking about
It was sad.
our holidays have been.
It's the postage. How are we gonna know what day it is?
It's probably the paper.
Could,
Because printers are having to cut back on paper because they got paper limits. But no, Emerson Press is not doing bad. Not doing it.
That's what I was thinking. There you got bills.
Those are yours, Pat.
Wait, you ready to start the meeting?
6:01 tonight.
I'm starting the camera.
What's the 601 mean? Why are we doing 601?
Oh.
Oh, almost. Should we count down?
There we go.
Okay, we're good.
We'll use that one.
Big Ben, it says 6.
It's 10 seconds, that's what it means, so that's good.
All right. The hour of 6:01 having arrived, call this village board meeting to order. If you'd all please join me in a moment of silence. And a pledge of allegiance. Pledge allegiance to the flag
Of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Mr. Clerk, could you take the roll?
Trustee Mao. Here.
Everybody's all anxious to get ready to do stuff, huh?
Merry Christmas, Santa.
All right, I bring gifts.
Ooh, Santa.
Is it cold? Did we get cold?
Oh, yeah, if it's cold, we don't want it. What about candy canes?
It'll keep us warm.
Thank you, sir.
One lump of coal. Thank you. 5 lumps of coal. Two lumps of sugar.
Thank you,
2 lumps
Santa.
of sugar.
A double dish of coal.
I know.
It's very
Bottle of
nice.
prune juice.
Now I can say have a Christmas decoration.
Cigars.
Thank you.
There you go.
Ooh, Chief's been a good boy.
New bullets. What?
Merry Christmas.
Well, thank you.
You thought of everybody.
The whole board. Everybody who sits up here.
Even the attorney gets one.
Oh.
Man, this is a big time for you.
He was a little nervous down there, you could tell.
He was fidgeting.
Thank you,
Merry
Santa.
Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas, Santa.
Merry
Safe
Christmas,
travels.
Yeah.
Merry Christmas, Santa.
Merry Christmas.
Thanks for coming. We're not gonna put this out.
Santa, do you have any public announcements?
Just enjoy the Christmas and remember, Christmas is not about Santa Claus. It's about Jesus. Okay? Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
Have a good one now.
Merry Christmas.
Let the record reflect Santa was present for roll call. Mr. Clerk, if you would like to proceed.
Trustee Mao.
Yes, here.
Ferguson.
Present.
Trustee Charo.
Present.
Trustee Detmers. Here. Trustee Gerger. Village President Kimsey.
Present. Any public announcements this evening? I'll start. I get this message from Shane. I was going to deliver it, but I don't think I can say it better than Shane did. We want to thank all of the departments within the village, from the dispatchers and utility office fielding calls, police officers watching the backs of our workers, our electric and street guys, the street department and assisting with limb removal to keep our roads cleared, Parks and Water Department for stepping in with manpower, and for the administrative assistance with the aftermath of the storms that we had come through town last Friday. We also want to thank the Illinois Municipal Utilities Association for helping us with reaching out to CWLP to activate our mutual aid agreements for assistance in restoring the power throughout the village. And personally, Shane said he would like to thank the CWLP crew for stepping up in the adverse conditions. This is what makes our community great. Everyone stepping in and lending a helping hand. And the emergency that we had and the extended power outages proves what a strong team that the village board and residents have. So thank you to all those that bring the weather Friday and all the effort. I think at the first call out was 8:15. 8:15 Friday evening, and the last guy didn't finish working until about 4:30 Saturday afternoon. So a long and extenuating effort and a pretty heroic effort considering all of that. So,
And during that whole time, 4 of our linemen were the ones that were out there that whole time, so.
any other public announcements? Public comments regarding agenda topics? Hearing none, I entertain a motion to put the consent agenda on the table.
Make that motion.
Trustee Miles made a motion, second by Trustee Charo. Any discussion regarding the warrants or the minutes? Hearing none, Mr. Clerk.
Trustee Detmers.
Yes.
Trustee Charo.
Yes.
Trustee Ferguson.
Yes.
Trustee Mao.
Yes.
No old business. Under new business is an ordinance levying taxes for all corporate purposes for the village of Chatham for the fiscal year commencing on the first day of May 2021 and ending on the 30th day of April 2022. Could I have a motion to bring this to the floor?
I'll make that motion.
Trustee Miles made a motion. Do we have a second?
Second.
Second by Trustee Charo. Do we have any discussion? Hearing none. Mr. Clerk.
Trustee Charo.
Yes.
Trustee Detmers.
Yes.
Trustee Ferguson.
Yes.
Trustee Mao.
Yes.
Item 2 is a resolution abating the direct annual real estate tax in the amount of $329,936 for the year 2021 levied pursuant to Ordinance 1404 and amended by 19-37. A motion to bring this to the floor.
I'll move.
That motion. Oh,
Trustee Detmers has made a motion. Do we have a second?
second.
Second by Trustee Charo. This is the abatement on the electric bonds. The system continued to generate sufficient revenue, so the levy will be eliminated. Further discussion? Mr. Clerk?
Trustee Ferguson.
Yes.
Trustee Detmers.
Yes.
Trustee Charo.
Yes.
Trustee Mao.
Yes.
Item 3 is an ordinance setting village board meeting dates for the calendar year 2022. A motion to bring this to the floor.
I'll make that motion.
I'll second.
Charo, second by Trustee Mao. Same meeting schedule as we've observed in the past. Any discussion? Hearing none. Mr. Clerk?
Trustee Charo.
Yes.
Trustee Detmers.
Yes.
Trustee Ferguson.
Yes.
Trustee Mao.
Yes.
Any additional public comments on any village business? Hearing none, the scheduled meetings, the Planning Commission at 6 p.m. on December 16th, Village Board 6 p.m. December 28th, Public Properties and Recreation Committee January 10th at 6 p.m., Village Board 6 p.m. on January 11th, followed by the Committee of the Whole at 6:15 or thereafter, Chatham Fire Police Commission February 16th, 2021.
22 on those 3 and 5.
We'll get those about June.
Man.
This time, I would entertain a motion to recess the village board meeting to the conclusion of the committee of the whole, which will reconvene at that point in time for executive session.
I'll make that motion.
Trustee Charles made a motion. We have a second.
Second.
Second by Trustee Ferguson. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Board stands in recess. We have a 7-minute intermission, do we? Just stretch.
6 minutes. I'm not going to wait until.
Let's buy some popcorn.
Dan, did you fill in what time the committee started?
I will at 6:15, but not yet.
What's in our special bag? I gotta see. I
Well, you screwed me on the
Hold
whole
until
minute.
6:16.
don't think it's a cat.
Oh, cute.
No, then we get Amy back and all is right with the world.
I love it.
Reindeer?
No, it's
January.
Christmas vacation
Or no.
reindeer mugs.
Oh, oh,
Beginning of
cool.
January, and then it'll be.
That's adorable.
I have a big one at home.
Are you taking a
I
whole?
love Christmas vacation.
That,
You're taking a whole one?
I know, it's Christmas vacation.
It's the mug
No, it's
from,
Christmas
week
vacation.
to Iceland and a
Rocky
week to
the,
Scotland.
or what is his name?
But we're meeting tomorrow night to even see if we're gonna do it. 'Cause
That's
Marty
cute.
Moose.
Omicron's not fun.
40 moves.
Marty, there you go.
Yeah.
Because it's from that
That's
park they go to.
Yes.
Wally.
Wally World.
Wally World.
I love that movie.
Me too.
My parents have in their China camp, we actually
Pat.
found them
Uh,
with moose glasses.
Yeah.
there's,
Glass, everything.
Oh,
They're
really?
amazing.
We went,
1 year, and now I can't find them. I got them for the work party, and I think they disappeared at that time.
My dad took me to see that movie the year that it came out at the old Esquire Theater in the mall.
they did an anniversary a couple of years back at the movie theater across from Walmart. And that was so much fun to go. It was packed, but everyone was laughing before the scenes. No one could keep from laughing because it's like you're sitting at home and you know what's coming up. But it's
What?
like everybody would laugh like ahead of time.
Well, now you can go to that.
Every year. My dad and I have watched that movie every single year since it came out.
How
And
could you not laugh?
after the first few years of he and I sneaking down in the basement to watch it for Christmas, the rest of the family starts catching on, like, what are those idiots doing down there? And now it's this big grand event that we have the annual Kimsey family viewing every year.
Nice. Yeah.
Now, if you go to that old movie theater, then you'll get all the laughs now because it's a marijuana dispensary. You know,
Oh, is it?
same reaction.
I like the movie, actually.
Yeah.
Watching the movie.
Have you ever actually gone out and cut down a tree and done that whole?
Not cut it down. I've gotten live trees before, but they.
There's a place out by Nathan's. We've gone out there and traipsed through the fields a few times. And,
You can actually cut them down, like they'll let you.
oh yeah,
yeah.
they give you a saw and they send you out on their tree farm and say just bring back whatever one you want.
I carry an axe in my trunk, so that's.
That's for other reasons. Creepy as that sound coming out of your mouth, but
Don't tell nobody.
You know, I've never actually swung an axe.
Well, it's fun.
It'd probably be funny to watch me cut down a tree.
So is Gerger not coming, or is he just not here yet?
Piercy's not here.
Yeah. It's that smart water, Dave.
Keep drinking.
Yeah.
It's really popular this year, but it would look nice with, as an accent.
No, no.
Well, not real leather.
Maybe a few years ago, but no. No, but I was watching The Voice last night, and the boy, the band named Tom or whatever. Okay.
Oh.
There was
I didn't
was
know Amy was a deputy
two
clerk.
females. I mean, two males and there was a band. Anyway, they sung Fleetwood Mac's The Chain. That was amazing, and they all had leather on. It was pretty funny. But they're like, early 20s and can wear that stuff. And I was cute. If I could wear it, I would. You're a good size to wear it, but I'd take a whole bull. I'd take a whole cow, so I can't do it.
Kind of look like it because your boots are high.
Yeah.
And all I can see is like the lower part of your leg. But it's the same effect.
Same effect.
Yeah.
Just didn't kill a couple animals.
I take that. I must have took that out.
We do. Break that all up? Oh, I don't, this is from the time before. I
I
don't
was gonna say, that's a ton of stuff.
What street does one go?
Yeah.
This what?
What is that even from?
This must have been a while ago. This has to have been sitting there for maybe
Take a left.
at least a month.
You don't control your spot?
Those businesses,
Well, I didn't
and
know.
it's like the second right, I think, or
know.
the
I
third
didn't know
right.
whose it was.
Kill.
I had it all the way up to here, but I weeded it down to
This
there.
house isn't hard to miss. It's like
I didn't
the
realize
fourth
it
or
was
fifth
mine.
on the right. It's
I don't
really,
know that
it's like
it
the
is.
only one that's lit up
I'll
like
take
it,
care of it.
like a maniac.
Every other Tuesday, right?
I'm removing
You'll
it from-
file it away.
Good evening, 6:15. I'd like to call the Committee of the Whole meeting to order. It's just a little. Clerk Holden, could you please take the roll?
Trustee Mao.
Yes, here.
Trustee Ferguson.
President.
Trustee Charo.
Present.
Trustee Detmers.
Here.
Village President Kimsey. Also present.
Awesome. Are there any public comments regarding agenda topics? Seeing none, there's no old business. Under new business, item number 1, the CMT engineering updates.
Okay, got a couple of items. One of the major completion items that we had over the past month was the finishing of Oak Brook. That was completed in early November. On time, on schedule. We did go a little bit over budget on that, but that was to blend in and match into good pavement conditions on the west side. So we expanded the project about 15 feet to the west, and then across Acacia, probably about 20 feet down Acacia. So as bid was $375,510, and then as final bill, $387,534. So project went smooth. Very few comments from the adjacent public. No utility problems, no undercut problems. But the one thing that we did find is this method of construction is working well. We're still finding that the pavement in many of these subdivisions are substandard. I think we had on average 3 inches thick of asphalt on pretty much black dirt. There was no evidence of lime, modified soil underneath, so kind of substantiates our changes in ordinances to go with rock base as opposed to lime modified base moving forward.
So do you not even think there was any at all there ever, or it just eroded because of moisture and?
No, what happens with lime is you have to mix it with clay material, and if clay material isn't in the soil, then it doesn't react well. So what ends up happening then is they can put enough lime in there to form a hard surface on the top of the soil, just enough to get a paver on there, just enough to pave it. But through a few freeze-thaw cycles, then it just disappears, breaks up. What we would expect to see with a true lime modified soil is it would come up in sheets like this. And none of that was present during the construction or removal activities. So, but okay, so construction went well. It was efficient, and we were able to get it done pretty quick, removing one half of the roadway at a time and replacing it. So. The other project that we had working with the village on was the extension of sidewalk down Gordon Drive. It connects that stub on the west side of Gordon Drive from Breckenridge down to the south over to Manor Hill. So that was completed by Terry Brown Excavating here this past week. So that connection's done, did final grading, culvert work, riprap, and so forth. We're also working with the village on establishing projects that will hopefully be eligible for funding with some of these grants coming down the pipeline, water main projects, electrical backup projects, those sorts of items. And then also we're continuing to coordinate with IDOT on Plummer Boulevard for that project to be considered a functional overlay project. So when the state comes through with Route 4 paving, that we would hopefully be able to piggyback on that and receive good bids associated with their project. Other than that, that's about all I had for this evening.
Are there any updates regarding the potential pond
or I don't know if that was included in your list of projects that might be able to be funded, but.
We have talked about it, a couple of times, so, we're going to pull together an item to see if that would be eligible, and then it's just going to be a function of, ranking that with other priorities within the village, once funding becomes available. Thank you.
Thank you.
Item number 2 under new business is the agreement to provide research, marketing, and consulting services between Next Site and the Village of Chatham. This, as we've talked through Next Site before, I think they've revised the contract in accordance with some of the concerns that were shared by members of the community as well as this board. I don't know if you guys have any comments regarding this particular contract amendment or the revised contract, I should say, and whether or not we should push this forward to the normal village board. Is there any discussion about it or the revisions?
And if I recall, Dave, you and I talked about this, and they changed, basically said, it says if they bring it, then we pay for their services, right? But if we help bring the business, we don't have to pay as much or at all for.
Correct.
Okay.
The biggest chunk of the change was to accomplish a couple things. We wanted to be explicitly clear that Nexite had to have direct involvement in the recruitment of any potential development, established a way for that to be documented throughout the process so that involvement could be proved up, so that we're not paying commissions, for lack of a better word, on something that we drove versus something that they drove. And then also stressing the importance of making this data available to our existing businesses and providing avenues via the chamber for current business to access and be able to use this data and fully take advantage of what all this offering entails.
There was one clarifying question that I was asked, which was, a bullet 2, single and multi-tenant development of less than 10,000 square feet is $7,500 per development. If that $10,000 square foot is a strip mall containing 4 units, is that 4 times 7,500?
No.
Or is it just 7,500 total for the building?
It's the exterior shell.
Just wanted to make sure that was a question that was asked, and I wanted to clarify it.
I thought the presentation was great, and the idea of developing business opportunities here in Chatham. I am ready to get this going because it's going to take some time. So I think we should bring it to the board.
Matt, do you agree? Is that your position?
I do, yep.
Meredith, do you have any comments or concerns, questions?
No, I think that by adding that the small businesses in Chatham has access to the database and some of the information we get from that will allow them the opportunity to grow too if they use the data and they have a desire to use the data. So I think it protects the base that we have now and can help us grow in other ways.
Right. So again, if we were to move forward, we would elect Next Site to gather this information from our citizens, and that information would be shared with the village, and we would have complete latitude as to who we share that with. Right. There's no complications or restrictions on that. So we could then post it to our website similarly to what we did the last time. So yes, and we could share that with the Chatham Chamber of Commerce. And I know they've discussed this issue, and there's some mixed emotion, but ultimately it seemed like the board, from what I gathered, the board was mostly in agreement.
I think the board, I agree with you on that. I think their major concern was the small business owners. But I think if they felt that we handled it the proper way and were able to help them, which would be a Chatham Chamber issue, which they're very capable of taking care of, that should take care of the small business people.
All right, it sounds like we should move this forward to the regular village board for a vote at the next meeting. Any other comments regarding Next Site? Item number 3 under new business is a village manager update.
Some of the items that we were working on, myself and Jim met with the owners of the last plat of Manor Hill 2 and discussed options on the roadway work and being able to finish up that last plat. Those were, I think, pretty good discussions, and I think there's a good chance that that'll move forward. So that could be another plat that comes to town.
And all further roadway work will go under the advice of Jim, right, with respect to the substructure and making sure that we're putting in the good roads. Just want to make sure that we've adopted the newer.
Yeah, those road construction guidelines.
We did that.
Those are in the ordinance. So there's details in the ordinances, subdivision ordinance, that all subdivisions from 2 years back all have to follow.
And then you inspect them as they're being built, right, throughout the layers and ensuring compliance.
That's correct. The developer has their inspector, and then we also inspect it for compliance with the village ordinances.
Thank you.
What, Pat, who owns that second plat?
It's still heirs of Tip Tippett and I think Charlie Robbins, and they're just.
There's how much there left, like 11 acres, right, 12?
The area where Vern lives is kind of a horseshoe shape. The plan was for the exact same type of development right next to it. So what, roughly 20, 25 houses, 26 houses in that area. You know, that area kind of sat stagnant for a long while, and then.
Because it was farmed for a little while, and they stopped
Yeah,
farming
and then
it.
there was a few houses built in there, and then it sat there for a long time. But the last 2 years, it's been on fire, and I think there's one lot left still to build on in there.
There's already a stub street, right?
There's a stub street for both parts, so yeah, it's set up. I think we discussed the other day that the storm sewers are already installed, or maybe the sanitary sewers are already installed in there.
And that concrete swale runs the length of that property, right? Behind those houses that are already there and would essentially would be
It'll
behind.
continue on down and run
Yeah.
all the way along there, yeah. That's the area that Dan's pulled up on the map, the area that's just all grass right there.
Yeah.
So that was good news. Today, myself and Ryan met with local farmers, and we're going over areas where their farms next to residential areas were causing drainage problems and material ended up in the concrete swales. And I think we come to a pretty good agreement on how to take care of those moving forward. So it was a good day in that part.
What areas did you meet with? Where were those areas at?
We met with the Dowsons, and it was the areas next to South Winds and the areas next to North Point and Fox Creek. Also the area down by South Park, down by the senior center.
So that area, just, I don't know all of the neighborhoods sometimes, but you're referring to the area near the Village Electric shed too, right? In that?
No,
No.
these guys don't own any property in that area.
Because I know there was that concern from that citizen about a year ago that was draining from the village. He thought the water was coming from the village land under his fence and through his backyard.
The leaf bag pickup, the first 2 weeks did not run nearly as smooth as it did last year. The one gentleman that works for Waste Management that took care of it happened to be on vacation during that time. And we had a lot of callbacks. They ended up taking care of everything over time, but they missed a lot of areas. This week, that guy's back. He showed us the maps of what they're getting done each day. I drove behind after those areas, and I see no leaf bags out in those neighborhoods. So I think they're doing a very good job on that. Then with the storms, we had a lot of broken branches, a lot of stuff came down. It pulled down poles. They had to replace 6 poles in people's backyards, a lot of dead trees. So National's going to come through, pick up stuff again for a second time through the village and take care of that stuff. So they told me they would try to get everything picked up before Christmas Eve.
Regarding leaves, I think the dates you chose this year worked well, just for the record.
I was worried because after the first one, there was still a lot of green leaves on the tree, and I was like, we should have pushed it back another week. But they didn't have to pick up a lot of bags the first time through. But man, you drive through some of those subdivisions now, there's 30, 40 bags sitting in everybody's driveway. So the guys that are picking them up are going to get their exercise over the next week or so. That's about it.
And I have a question. Anything going up the water plant or any good, bad, or is all okay?
We haven't got any calls or anything going wrong or anything like that. We did contact CWLP again and ask them about renewing their backup agreement with us. We tried to make it for, I think, 3 years? This next winter was at 4 years. But but we still haven't heard back from them on that yet.
Any other questions for Pat? Item 4 under new business, Public Properties and Recreation Committee discussion. There hasn't been a meeting since our last committee of the whole meeting, so there's no update there. The Utility Oversight Committee discussion, Meredith, I don't know if you're aware of any.
We have not had any meetings either. Just have it last night and it got canceled.
Awesome.
I have a question,
Sure.
Chairman, on the Public Properties Committee. I noticed they had some individuals that damaged the lights and things out at the park for light up the park. Were those individuals caught and handled?
I haven't received an update on that, no.
Chief, give you that.
Yeah, it was younger individuals, I believe, the oldest was 13, I think a couple 10-year-olds. What we got back from Rollo at the time was there wasn't that many bulbs or damage on them, were unscrewed. Some of them were damaged, but they're going to be very little restitution is going to be provided, and they're not going to file charges. And do we have any idea what kind of numbers have been through yet, or no idea?
Yeah, I think what I had heard, the numbers were good, but not quite 2020 numbers. I think 2020 was an unprecedented year with a lot of volume, and I know Dave's been out there every night or most every night.
Yeah, so we didn't anticipate the fact that there's other things to do this year. Last December, we were really the only game in town, so everybody went there. But they're doing very well. Quite happy with the turnout and back pacing. We're they're measuring against 2019 numbers and exceeding expectations. So the display is fantastic. Go through it several times. Thursday through Sunday, 6 to 9, if you want the full commercial.
Matt, did you have anything else? Sorry for skipping over that. Did you have anything else?
Oh, no, that was it.
Okay. Are there any public comments regarding any village business not on the agenda? Seeing none, scheduled meetings, Committee of the Whole, 6:15, January 11th, 2022. I do not believe there's any need for a closed session, so I'd entertain a motion to adjourn.
I'll make that motion.
Second.
Motion made by Trustee Mao, seconded by Trustee Charo. All in favor?
Aye.
Thanks. Motion adjourned. Meeting adjourned.
I'll make a motion to reconvene into, open to the
Board meeting.
board meeting.
Trustee Miles made a motion of second.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
We'll entertain a motion to convene an executive session pursuant to 5 ILCS 122C5, purchase or lease of real property for the use of the public body.
Make that motion.
Trustee Miles made a motion of a second.
Second.
Second by Trustee Charo. Mr. Clerk, would you take a roll?
Trustee Ferguson,
Yes.
Trustee Charo,
Yes. What are we doing here? Yes.
Go into executive session.
Trustee Mao,
Yes.
Trustee Detmer.
Yes.
Okay, so there'll be no additional business to occur after the executive session. We are going to use this room So at this point in time, we would ask anybody that's not going to be a part of that to please excuse us, and y'all have Merry Christmas and Happy Holidays.
I'm gonna stop the broadcast.